Was Jesus just a good moral teacher? And why is the answer to that question a matter of life and death? Coming up next on Pastor Bob's Coffee Break. It's one of our mugs, and it's the mug of the month. And it says, liar, lunatic, or Lord. Quote from C.S. Lewis. I'm going to read you that quote today. And this is part of what we've got in the store. And I have a treat for you today, too. I'm going to give you a little preview of next month's, mug and all the stuff that we have, t-shirt. And it's this. This. Born to die. And the baby in the manger became the savior of the world. And we've got that in a mug, in a t-shirt. Very cool t-shirt, as you can see. And the mug. And that's for our Christmas stuff. But I'm showing you early because I know a lot of people are going to want to get it for Christmas and use it all during the month of December. And of course, it takes a little while to order. So you can get those as of today, right here. WeAreMetalWeAreFamily.com. So, and our good coffee, by the way. HEADBANGERS Brew. In ground whole bean, decaf, and K-cups, right there. Same place. Dear Pastor Bob, I accept Jesus as a really great moral teacher, but saying that he was actually God is a bit hard to swallow. Don't you think that it's going a bit too far? After all, he was a human being. And that's a great question. And I have a great answer. And that's why we are doing this month. That's why we're talking about liar, lunatic, or Lord. Because you see, that is the choice that we make when we decide who he is. Was he just a good moral teacher? He was that. But is that the reason he came, just to teach us? Or was there another purpose in him coming? Now, the Old Testament, from the Old Testament to the New, hundreds of prophecies about why he was coming, his purpose in coming, that he came to die for the sins of the world. That was the prophecy, and he fulfilled every bit of it, which was impossible, but he did. It was absolutely defied the laws of probabilities. And he came and he died for a reason. And who he said he was is a real important thing. But let me read you this quote from C.S. Lewis, and it's from a book, by the way, that I highly recommend called Mere Christianity. If you haven't read it, you ought to. Great book, The Basics of the Faith. And if you say, well, I know the basics of the faith, it is such a great inspirational refresher. So, Mere Christianity, C.S. Lewis. And from the book, he says, a man who was merely a man and said the sort of things Jesus said would not be a great moral teacher. He would either be a lunatic on the level with the man who says that he's a poached egg, or else he would be the devil himself from hell. You have to make the choice. Either this man was and is the Son of God, or else a madman or something worse. You can shut him up for a fool. You can spit at him and kill him as a demon, or you can fall at his feet and call him Lord and God. But let us not come up with any patronizing nonsense about his being a great human teacher. He didn't leave that option open to us. He did not intend to. Great quote, isn't it? And very true. That's why we're devoting the whole month to this basic quote and to this basic decision. He was either a liar or a lunatic or he was Lord, because he said he was God. He didn't say, I just came to be a great moral teacher. He said, that's not it. He said, I came that you might have life and have it more abundantly. And he explained who he was. Now let's go there. Let's go to Luke chapter 9. Luke chapter 9, starting with verse 18. Now it happened that as Jesus was praying privately, the disciples were with him. They must have followed him around all the time. And I'm sure that sometimes it might have been a little difficult to slip away. I know that feeling. Right now it's 4:25 a.m. as I'm recording this. Why? Because it's one of the few times of the day that I'm not disturbed all the time. Now, I don't mind being disturbed. It's what I do. It's my life. But if I'm going to have quiet time to do something, it's got to be really early. And I understand. He broke away. And then after a while, the disciples were with him. And he asked them, who do the crowd say that I am? Because he wanted them to answer this question. Not that he didn't know what the crowds were saying. Of course he did. And they answered, John the Baptist, and some say Elijah, and others that one of the ancient prophets has come back to life. See, good moral teacher, cool guy, great prophet. And he said to them, but who do you say that I am? Now, there's another big but right there. And that's where we pay attention, if you remember. But who do you say that I am? Okay, that's what everybody else is saying. But you see, what you say is really important here. And Peter spoke up and replied, the Christ, the Messiah, the anointed of God. He knew who he was. And he knew who he was because Jesus had explained who he was. And Peter got it. Now, Peter would deny him 3 times. Yeah. But he knew who he was. He knew the answer to that. And folks, that answer and that question are very important, and they are important eternally. And your answer to the same question, but who do you say that he is eternally important. So I want you to think about this today. Who do you say that he is? Was he a liar? Was he a lunatic? Or was he Lord? And folks, you have to make this decision. And not to decide is to decide. Don't forget, you are blessed. Go and be a blessing.
Subscribe to our newsletter at sanctuaryinternational.com.